Song it is, and thank you so much to the thousands of fans who have joined the red carpet here on Courtney Place. Carol and I have just done a quick head count of about half an hour, and we reckon close to 100,000 people have lined the streets today, this 500-metre beast of a red carpet, to make sure that everybody sees their favourite dwarf, hobbit, elves and wizards. Ladies and gentlemen, we are just minutes away from seeing all your favourite actors come up this red carpet, and if you are part of the millions watching online, join the conversation on Twitter. Hashtag The Hobbit. It is truly a special event, as you can see from the aerial shots of Wellington. They have turned it on here in cinematic Middle-earth. Let's have a look at the reminder of why we are here today in Wellington. Actually, let's have a look at Carol. Carol, you have a very special guest with you right now.
The man of the moment, Peter Jackson. And Peter Jackson is with his adoring crowd here and will be joining us very shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the man of the moment. He is the director of The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. Peter Jackson, can I begin by saying congratulations? This is an exhilarating film. What excites you most about what it offers audiences?
Well, I love escapism. I love going to the movies and just, being transported away, and those are the movies that we try to make.
How do you feel when you see that all of Wellington has turned out for this fantastic premiere?
It's absolutely fantastic. It's just so great of all these people to stay here for so long to welcome us, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, you face so many challenges bringing The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey to the screen. What was the single biggest?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is always just actually making the movie. We had a lot of drama at the beginning, but once you're on set, you have a big job to do. We were shooting for 18 months, huge logistics all around New Zealand. But fortunately, we had an incredible crew, great support behind us. But shooting the movie is always the hardest part.
Was it strange going back to Hobbiton, or did you always know that you'd be back there?
No, I didn't always know, and the great thing about Hobbiton is that after Lord of the Rings, we had to remove it. We returned this farmland back to the way it was, with sheep grazing on it, and then for the Hobbit, it gave us an opportunity to rebuild it, and it can stay there now as a permanent part of the of our Middle-earth experience. So I'm very proud of that.
Interestingly, Peter, you actually have shot in reverse order to Tolkien, with Lord of the Rings coming first and The Hobbit second. Was that ever daunting?
Well, it was interesting because when Fran Walsh and I first came up with this idea back in about 1995, we tried to make The Hobbit first. We thought make The Hobbit as one movie, and if that was successful, then maybe we could do 2 Lord of the Rings movies. That was our master plan. And at that point, the rights to The Hobbit were almost impossible to get, and they were too difficult. But The Lord of the Rings was achievable, so we went to The Lord of the Rings first. But it's interesting. I'm glad we did it this way, because The Lord of the Rings really it gave us a chance to establish the style and the look of the films and the look of Middle-earth and the design, and we're able to now use that on The Hobbit. I'm glad we did it that way around, actually. I think it'll end up for the best.
Talking about the look of the film, the groundbreaking technology with 48 frames per second, it is extraordinary to witness. How do you feel about how it's turned out?
Well, that's really up to audiences to decide. It's a very interesting way to look at a movie. I like to think of it as almost the same as that period where vinyl records were replaced by CDs, where an old technology of many decades old was replaced by something that's crystal clear. It's very immersive. And I just think it sort of lifts the experience of seeing a film, and I think that's part of my job to try and do that.
Now, we know that you have been working right up until the last minute, polishing this fantastic film. Tell me, how did you know when you had reached the end, and how did you feel?
Well, you kind of you figure out, you just keep glancing at the calendar and remind yourself when the premiere is supposed to be, when we're supposed to be screening it here, and you work backwards from that. I mean, I think we've got the film just about finished. I may have to get John Key to extend his speech a little so we have time to get it to the theatre, but I think we'll be all right.
You're an absolute perfectionist. Tell me that you are going to rest a little bit now.
Well, I've got to promote this movie, and then we'll have a little bit of break over Christmas, and then we've got 2 more Hobbit films to finish.
Wonderful. And I can see you have a very beautiful young partner here tonight. Shall we wander over to her? Katie.
Hi.
This is my daughter.
I'd like to introduce you to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Katie Jackson, Peter Jackson's daughter. Can we have a huge cheer for her being here with her dad? It is wonderful to have you with your dad here. Katie, you would have seen the film. What did you think?
I actually haven't seen it. He wanted to wait till it was completely done and finished for me to really get the full movie. So yeah, I'm so excited.
I thought it would be much more fun for Katie to see it completely finished and rather than see it sort of unfinished. So I convinced her to wait.
I think more than probably anybody in the world, you probably lived with these Tolkien tales in your life as you grew up. How has that been, Katie?
Oh, it's been amazing. It's incredible. I mean, I'm a big Tolkien fan myself, so it's great to have like a whole family that's just kind of Tolkien obsessed.
I mean, all of the actors, you know, Ian McKellen and Elijah, they've become part of our family, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, ever since you were very, very small.
When I was like 3.
And tell me, do you have any aspirations of going into the movie business yourself?
You never know. Yeah. I might carry it on.
What do you think, Dad?
Well, it would be good. It would be fantastic, and she's extremely clever, so fantastic.
Peter and Katie, we are going to let you get to your adoring crowd. Please have a wonderful premiere night. Thank you. Peter Jackson and Katie Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. Checking, and I think actually we're on now, and so I'm going to talk with you, you wonderful woman, creator of this fantastic set of films, along with Peter and Fran, of course. How are you feeling about actually reaching this day, Philippa?
I think I'm relieved. I think I have to say, you know, you try really hard and you're focused so intently on what you're doing, and this is just like the icing on the cake, especially when you see all these incredible fans come out for the film. It's you know, it's heartwarming.
It's everything you work for, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, actually, you know, so many people put so much into this, and it's been a great joy. It's been a fantastic shoot. The cast is amazing. I think Pete knocked this one out of the park. I'm very happy with what we did with the script and stuff. So yeah, I feel good, I have to say. I just hope people love it as much as we love making it.
I talked to Pete about what he found the single biggest challenge. What for you was the biggest challenge you faced bringing this film to screen?
It's interesting. Just getting it there was fairly hard, I have to say. I think, you know, in terms of the writing, we just keep writing. We continually write, and so the whole thing was a challenge, but keeping the tone right, keeping it distinct and separate from the Lord of the Rings, making it its own entity, all of those things. But getting 13 dwarves in one scene is pretty hard, I have to say.
But you managed it.
We did it.
Well, you had a particularly great crew with these dwarves.
Yes, we did. They're a lot of fun. They worked really well together. They're good ensemble, all really, really phenomenal actors in there. So, yeah, that wasn't hard, I have to say. They were a joy to work with. And some of them, I think are going to surprise some people.
Now, we're actually premiering this movie, but you must be looking ahead to the next two.
Yes, we are, actually. Pete's done a cut of the second one, and Fran and I are supposed to be watching it, but we had to go shopping, I have to say.
And you need to meet your adoring crowd too, Philippa. Please have a wonderful night.
Thank you so much.
And happy premiere.
Yeah.
We're just making our way through the front. Just to tap Martin Freeman on the shoulder and we can have a bit of a chat with him. He's, of course, the star, Bilbo Baggins. And hello, how are you? Are you enjoying today so far?
Yeah, so far it's lovely.
Yeah? And Wellington's turned it on, obviously, today. What a fantastic journey, an expected journey for you, sort of. How are you feeling after you've seen the film? Have you seen the film at all in its final cut?
Saw it 2 or 3 nights ago, yeah, and it's beautiful, yeah. I'm really, really pleased with it. I'm pleased for Peter. I'm pleased for all of us. Yeah, it was a lot of work and a lot of hard slog and time and love, and it's a beautiful film, yeah.
The first scene that you shot was with Gollum in his cave. What was that like?
It's fantastic, working with a brilliant actor on one of the most sort of pivotal scenes of the book and of the film. It was glorious for me because it helped me find who Bilbo was, And Andy always brings out the best in you, He's great.
It's always nice to be wanted, but they wanted you from day one. They moved their schedule for you.
Well, it's very flattering. It's very flattering, and I still can't quite believe it, but I'm very glad they did.
And what are you expecting as you go further up the red carpet?
A lot more people, by the looks of it. A lot more people and a lot more enthusiasm for this film, which is great because the whole city's behind it. It's fantastic.
I hope you have a Camelback. It's very dehydrating as you walk up there.
It seems it, yeah.
All right, enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot.
Whenever you're ready.
We good?
Prime.
Yeah, Carol.
To the east lies a solitary claim their homeland.
I'm surrounded by dwarves. What are they doing here?
Quite a merry gathering.
So, this is the Hobbit.
You asked me to find the 14th member of this company, and I have chosen Mr. Baggins.
Me? No. We will seize this chance to take back Erebor.
Where are you off to?
I'm going on an adventure!
Why the halfling?
Perhaps it is because I'm afraid. It gives me courage.
Why don't we have a game of riddles?
If Baggins loses, who eats it whole?
Fair enough.
Home is now behind you. The world is ahead.
The Hobbit, an unexpected journey.
Well, that could have been worse.
Only in cinemas.
think we just need to do another We're Here on Blood, you know?
Cool.
Because...
No, I'm not even. I'm pretty much never looking at it, but.
Hello. Thank you. Thanks, Katie. Thank you, Katie.
Yeah, here we are, just quickly repoing with our beautiful camera person, Bex. And here we are with James Nesbitt, Beaufort as well, in the Lord of the Ring, the Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. What an amazing day we're about to have. Are you excited?
Well, beyond excited. I mean, it's just so good to be back here. I was saying that this morning in the press conference that this wasn't just another job. This was a whole lifestyle change. You know, I brought my daughters here. It changed their lives. Working with Peter changed my life. This is a great place to make a movie. It's a great place to live, and to be back for this is sensational.
You obviously look like you had a great amount of fun with the other dwarves as well. Was it like being in a team? Was it a team feeling?
Well, what's interesting in the film and in the book, of course, the dwarves go on this journey, but we as actors were doing the same thing. We had to meet and get to know each other, go on this journey. There were challenges ahead. There were the odd fights and quarrels, but we've come through, and of course we've got 2 more films to get through. But I just can't say enough about Wellington and about New Zealand. It was, you know, I come from a place I'm very proud to come from, Ireland, in the north of Ireland. But New Zealand has everything, but most of all, it has a gentle pace of life, a good education system, and good wine.
It certainly does. Now tell me, what was it like, Dwarf Boot Camp? How was that at the beginning?
Well, it was easier for the shorter guys because, you know, they weren't faced with the challenge. No, it was bizarre. You know, some of it I'm not sure that we used that much of, but we got fit. And also, I was here for the World Cup, and I watched you a lot during the World Cup. You know, I mean, how incredible was that? The boot camp was fine. It's a challenging and different situation to be involved in, you know, because you're not quite sure what's going on a lot of the time, but somehow Peter and Fran control this enormous thing at the far end of the world, but they do it with grace and with generosity. You know, it's amazing. It
really comes across in not only the movie, but also the video blogs as well that you can watch online. It looks like you guys had a lot of fun with a lot of hard work.
I tell you what, it beat working for a living. It was good.
All right, thank you so much for your time, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Carol.
Well, I am with the wonderful Thorin, that is, a.k.a. Richard Armitage. And Richard, welcome to the premiere of The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. Has it been an unexpected journey for you?
Yeah, it really has. I mean, the whole experience of shooting the film was enough for me. Without an end product, seeing the film on Sunday was a bonus, and then coming to Wellington and sharing this with everybody is beyond belief.
Now, you are one of the centerpieces of this film. You are a heroic figure, and you are constantly seen in this beautiful, golden, heroic way. How did you feel about that?
It wasn't part of the preparation that I did for the character. It was just something that Tolkien had given to the reader, and it was a big shoes to fill. So I just practiced my sword fighting and worked hard to fill those big shoes. Yeah.
You are seen as an action actor, and there was a lot of physical work with this role. How did you prepare?
We did 6 weeks of a boot camp. We did sword fighting. We learned how to move as dwarves. I learned how to sing as a dwarf. So there was quite a lot of preparation.
Tell me about the experience of coming off the film. How was that? Was it very strange after being in this very tight group with these people that you've grown to love?
Yeah, when the plane took off from Wellington for the final time, I was really choked to leave because this place had become my home. But coming back here for this has been incredible. But shaking off the character as well is something which takes a long time. And I think Thorin will live inside of me for a while. I mean, we do come back next year and finish the movie, so hopefully he will.
You talked about seeing the film on Sunday. When you saw the film, what were your first thoughts about Peter Jackson's direction of it?
The thing that really inspires me about Peter is that he is as fascinated with technology and advancing technology in cinema as he is with character and story. And put those two things together, it's something incredible has been created that I've never seen before.
I was part of the media conference this morning, and one of the subjects that came up was working with a green screen. How did you find that?
It requires you to engage your imagination in the same way that you would as if you were doing theatre. And I come from a theatre background, so for me it was really pleasurable. And Pete communicates his vision to you very clearly. His artists give you so much visual reference that it just fires up your imagination, and then you work from there.
Richard, at the risk of objectifying you, how do you feel about being one of the pin-ups in the film?
I thought you were going to say hot dwarf, but I can say we were extremely hot throughout filming. We were swelteringly hot, not unlike today, but I don't know. It was never something I considered when I created the role, but I guess someone that is a hero is going to inspire that.
You are very inspiring, and we would like to release you to your adoring public. Thank you so much, Richard.
Thank you very much, Carol. The lovely man, Richard Armitage, Andy Serkis has just arrived here on the red carpet, and he is just, it's a maelstrom of energy. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. What a day.
What a day.
Oh, it's turned it on. Fantastic. Look at it.
No, I could just tell you that the red carpet isn't just around the corner. It keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, so I've heard, but actually I have done this before, funnily enough.
Yeah, funnily enough, you have. Now, also being Gollum, but also second unit director as well. What a challenge that would have been.
Oh, it was an amazing challenge. I mean, and very unexpected. It was an unexpected journey, wasn't it? Because I found out literally a month before we were going to start principal photography. Peter asked me to come down, and so going from a few weeks reprising the role of Gollum, it suddenly became a year and a half's work. So, but it was fun. It was a great challenge.
Like you said, you've had history here before, walking this red carpet. What do you expect from them today?
Well, I mean, I know how crazy it was last time. I don't expect it to be any less crazy. It's so fantastic that you know, my second home, that everybody's turned out. Just for me, it's fantastic, really, isn't it?
Now, tell me, what was it like doing Gollum again? I read that it sounded like it was doing an impersonation of Gollum. Like so many people had improvised and mimicked and imitated him.
That's right, that's right. Just for the first couple of days, well, actually, the first day, it was like I was going through, I thought I was being Gollum, but I realised that actually somewhere in the back of my mind, perhaps I was actually doing an impersonation of thousands of people's impersonations of Gollum. It was quite weird, but then acting against Martin, you know, very quickly we got into it.
What was it like seeing yourself at the airport as Gollum?
Yes. I mean, you know, so you get on, let me just explain the journey. You get on the plane in London, your menu is Bilbo Baggins' front door, then you put on your Hobbit flight socks, then you go out at Auckland Airport and you go through, you know, enter into Mordor, and then you come, you know, and then there's Gollum up in the lounge when you arrive. It's extraordinary.
What are these last couple of days been like for you leading up, especially for the people who weren't on the first trilogy?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think for them, they're all very sort of, they're all in shock. They're all aware that something massive is about to happen, and this sort of quiet before the storm was gently getting a little bit more tense, and but I think everybody just wants to enjoy themselves now we've got here, you know. I mean, it's been a long road to get here, as you well know. You know, lots of trials, lots of tribulations, but it's so fantastic to be able to celebrate now.
You've made 1 metre, and there's another 499 to go. I have to let you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Carol.
Wow. am working my way to two very special men. In fact, it's a bit of a huddle here, but I'm going to get in and try and speak with the lovely Aidan Turner. It's going very well. And I'm going to get your terrible twin as soon as he is a disaster, isn't he? So, I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. This is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, did you ever in your wildest dreams imagine being part of a premiere like this, Aidan?
Not really. No, it's so surreal, actually. It's like the most, the wackiest St. Patrick's Day parade in the world, you know? We're the float or something, you know? It's amazing, yeah.
Now, I have the fantastic, and he's one of our own, I've got to say, Dean O'Gorman. Look, you two are the terrible twins, aren't you?
Terrible twins? Maybe.
Terrible actors, yeah, fair enough.
Tell me about the fun you had being the sort of the cutie pie boys together.
Cutie pie. Oh, look, the whole shoot was amazing. Yeah, we had a great. I don't think it was more enjoyable because we were the younger of the dwarves, but it was. Yeah, it's something else.
When did you actually meet, you two?
Oh, like we've been dating.
I know.
Yeah.
I see it as a bromance.
It is a bit of a bromance, actually. We're quite proud of that. When did we meet? Right before we at the audition, yeah.
Yeah, I was auditioning, and Aidan had already been cast, and
he did all right. Me and Philip had to talk about it. We decided to give him the job, you know, and he's been doing all right since. I think. Not so good in the second movie, but he carries the first one out. Yeah.
Tell me about the strangest things that you did together. But it is a family show, so we'll keep it clean.
Sticking with the bromance. Some of the strangest things we did together, I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know. It's anything strange. The whole thing was quite strange.
Yeah.
You know, killing trolls and giant spiders and orcs on a daily basis is quite strange.
I was standing on Aidan's shoulders. We had to fight some trolls, and I was,
you're on a wire. That's right.
Standing on Aidan's, Aidan's
but
shoulders.
That's just how the general kind of day goes. So everything is so wacky anyway. It's hard to pick out the strange bits, you know.
Yeah.
There was a lovely moment at the press conference today where one of the actors was talking about how the dwarves used to go out into a park together and try and move as a group together.
Oh, yeah, the dwarven movement class. No, we weren't a part of that. Unfortunately, we were. You may have blanked it from the memory, yeah. One of the more embarrassing parts of the preparation for this, walking around with in the squat position, yeah.
Yeah, we had to learn to walk like a dwarf, and it's not a very flattering way to walk.
We never used any of the techniques, so I don't know why we bothered doing it in the first place.
No.
And tell me, did you all end up with golden rings that you...
Did, and I left mine in Dublin. Awful about that.
I forgot mine as well.
Right, okay.
It's with me in spirit, though.
We'll let you off the hook, and we'll let you meet all of these adoring fans that have come out. Please have a wonderful night.
Well, here we are. Sir Richard Taylor has arrived at the red carpet. You're at the very beginning of the red carpet. Hello, how are you?
Oh, terrific, thank you. Yeah, it's exciting.
It is exciting. You've done this before, but the same thing must be coming through over your body at the moment, the excitement, the thrill, but the job isn't finished yet.
No, there's a couple of years still to go, but the neatest thing about this time is my family are on the red carpet with me, and that's cool. A lot's changed in 10 years.
It certainly has. Tell us, The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, how much more work was it since the first trilogy?
This was a big one. Going back to Middle-earth was incredible, of course, but we wanted to give the audience something special and different. So it took a lot of design and a lot of endeavour, but we've got here today.
What's your favourite thing you designed? What's the favourite thing you got your hands on that went from the drawing board to actually being in your hand?
Without doubt, the 13 dwarves, of course. I lived them as a child in my head when I read the book, and now being able to create them is an amazing thing.
What do you expect from today? I mean, it is such a fantastic crowd and beautiful weather. Did you organise the weather? You can do miracles with props.
We can't do the weather, unfortunately, but it is another special Wellington day, so we're very lucky.
And tell me, what can you tell me about what the people who haven't done this before, what can they expect?
Well, to discover the community spirit of Wellington again. This is because amazing... Hey, Elijah! Amazing people come together, so...
A lot of people have been talking about the technological advances and the way the film has been shot. What can you say about the way it has developed over the last time?
Well, as Peter does always, he pushes technology to the absolute limit, and this film has incorporated every new groundbreaking technique that he's able to use to make great cinema.
Excellent. Well, enjoy the rest of the red carpet. You have a bit to go, and we'll see you later on.
Very noisy. Very good. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Elijah is here.
What a beautiful Steadicam.
It is a beautiful Steadicam. You must...
Technology on the red carpet, it's wonderful.
No expenses spared. Tell me, what are you expecting from today?
Well, look, I mean, all of Wellington seems to be here. It's extraordinary. You know, this is echoing into the past for me because we'd been down Courtney Place before with Return of the King, so there's a lot of you know, muscle memory, but it's beautiful, and I'm so excited to be a part of this and to be supporting this beautiful film, and so excited for all of the dwarves and for Peter. It's an incredible accomplishment, and it kind of was beyond my expectations. It's really wonderful.
How good is it that it's now 3 films? You must be very excited that they have enough time to tell so much more of the story.
Yes, indeed. And I think what's great about it is, you know, it was actually, we were doing interviews the other day, and Hugo Weaving was saying that, you know, Lord of the Rings is 3 films, but in some ways it could have been 6 or 7 or 8, you know, considering how much story there was to tell. The beautiful thing about expounding upon The Hobbit is that it actually allows the story to breathe a little bit, and it gives it time for character development and for further sort of delving into various parts of the story. It's wonderful that it's 3. It makes so much sense. And, you know, they shoot so much footage. They just shoot so much footage, so it makes sense. I'm not surprised, you know.
It's not film these days, it's data that takes up all the space.
Yes, indeed.
What did you make of Martin's performance as Bilbo?
Martin is so wonderful. When I first heard that he was being considered for the role before he was actually cast, I was so thrilled. You know, in my mind, I couldn't have really imagined anyone else to play the character. It's such perfect casting. And after seeing the film, he's brilliant. You know, he's the right amount of funny and sort of, he's got strange qualities, and then there's also real gravity to him and real heart. He's the heart of the movie, and he really pulled it off. It's beautiful. I'm so proud of him.
That first scene that he shot with Andy Serkis as Gollum, really, it was his first scene on the set.
Iconic. You know, to shoot the Riddles in the Dark sequence as your first jump into the world of The Hobbit, this iconic chapter. I mean, it was, as a child, it was my favorite chapter in any book that I'd ever read. So to start with that is so wonderful for both of them, too, to kind of, for Andy to get back into that world of that character, and for Martin to sort of start to work on the character of Bilbo. It's beautiful.
Have we given you a passport yet?
No, I'd love one. I'd love one. I honestly feel like every time I land in Wellington Airport, it feels like I'm coming home. And I've felt like that for over 10 years. So I love it here. I love it here.
Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Indeed. Thank you.
Excellent.
I'm looking for someone to share in an adventure.
The misty mountains cold, to dungeons deep and caverns old.
So, this is the Hobbit. I cannot guarantee his safety.
Understood. Home is now behind you. The world is ahead.
The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. Only in cinemas.
About this extraordinary, unexpected journey that you've been on.
Yeah, it has been, was quite unexpected. I was working a couple of years ago and rang my agent and said, look, this job I'm doing is finishing in a couple of days. I need you to set me up with something that is going to see me through my retirement. And 2 days later, she rang and said, are you sitting down? I said, actually, I'm not. I'm vacuuming dog hair off the sofa. Should I do that? And she told me I've been cast.
Utterly spooky. Tell me about the shooting experience from your perspective.
Well, I loved it because I've directed a lot of television work, including some television dramas, a couple of documentary dramas, Shortland Street. And so Shortland Street is very fast turnaround television. This is the other end of the spectrum. Absolutely exciting.
What was really clear in the media conference earlier this morning was the close brotherhood between all of the dwarves. It is amazing. Was it simply through spending so much time together, or are you is there natural chemistry between you all?
Well, both of those things, really. I have worked with a number of the New Zealand actors in it, so knew them already. And so there was a great, tremendous energy there already. And then meeting up with all the wonderful actors who've come from overseas, it just built on the whole thing. It just carried on. It was wonderful.
What was the most difficult, the most challenging part of the business for you?
I guess being somewhat older than some of them, I did find it a little difficult to keep up with them sometimes, you know, especially wearing huge costumes. It was a bit hot, it was a bit heavy, and if they said, sorry, we've got to start again tomorrow, I would do it.
John, you've seen the film, and your thoughts about it?
I think it's an extraordinary piece of work. I think it takes the wonderful feeling for Aotearoa that we have, and it extends that through the new ideas that Peter Jackson has brought to it, the new technology that he's added to it. The whole thing, I think, has taken filmmaking to a much higher level than it was.
Absolutely thrilling. Lovely to talk with you, John. Have a great premiere night.
Thank you. Kia ora.
Was it a vice-like grip that they took it from you, or was it a little bit tired, a little bit weary?
Well, it's a vice-like grip, but I do know that if I didn't have a movie here for the premiere, I'd be in awful trouble. I'd be in the poo, as we say. So I made sure we got it finished in time for this.
Does this re-energise you a day like today?
Yeah, I mean, it does. It's certainly the adrenaline kicks in when you've got all these incredible people standing here, been camping overnight here. Yeah, the adrenaline's running just fine. I don't feel so tired right now.
I'm not sure if you've been asked this question, but what is your favourite part of this movie? You can't say all of it either.
No, well, I mean, I haven't really seen the movie properly. I've seen it kind of once through, but tonight's the first time I'm going to sit down and watch it really with an audience. I like Bilbo. I think Martin Freeman is absolutely brilliant as Bilbo, and I like the wonderful sense of comic timing that he brings to the movie.
What does it mean to have this world premiere in Wellington?
Well, it's the home crowd, isn't it? Can't do better. The fantastic crowd.
Peter Hamilton is with me, and it is a real thrill to speak with you, Peter. And of course, this is your hometown, Wellington. How do you feel when it's turning it on like this?
Oh, I'm so proud. I'm so proud for Wellington, and it's a brilliant celebration of how hard thousands of people have worked for this movie, for this project, and Wellington sure knows how to turn on a party, doesn't it?
Well, I was just talking to John Cullen about how hard he worked. Tell me, physically, only just. It was touch and go, let me tell you. How rigorous was it on you physically?
Oh, it was tough at times, and it was certainly all the sweat at the gym beforehand and the training really paid off. And we've got to take it to another level for filming next year, a lot more battle scenes and things like that. So, here's Mark arriving, great. And look, you know, heat and various factors meant at times it was very challenging, but we were so well looked after, you know.
What did you feel when you actually saw the movie all together finally in one piece?
I was absolutely flabbergasted. I mean, I fully expected it to be amazing in every way, but I really did just sit there open-mouthed and because I think I said to Peter, you know, you've set an extraordinary standard right off the bat, you know, for the first film, and I think it's going to blow people's minds. I really do.
We've talked a little bit about the groundbreaking technology with the 48 frames per second. Tell me, what was your impression of it when you saw it? How will audiences react, do you think?
Well, I found, even though it's been part of my life for the last 2 years, you know, and I'm close to the story in that sense, I found I was just enchanted, hooked into it within a few seconds. The kind of depth and the quality of the images, and then the storytelling, you've got great acting right there from Ian Holm, right for the first few seconds. I mean, what's not to love, you know?
You, of course, had a wonderful original story to work with.
About the best possible script writer you can have, but I think people will come to see how brilliantly clever Philippa and Fran and Peter and Guillermo originally have been in adapting it into 3 films.
And Peter, were you a Tolkien fan before you began?
Yes, I was one of those many people. I was lucky enough to have a wonderful teacher when I was at primary school who read us the whole book through 1 year, and I mean, there's many of us out there who it's very close to our heart, that story. So.
Thrilling to hear, and I really hope that you have a tremendous night here. As I said, in your hometown, Wellington, you deserve it.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Super.
Barry Humphries, you are joining me here on this camera, and your adoring crowd is already responding to you.
No, that's someone else's adoring crowd.
Not at all. Barry, tell us a little bit about what this experience of being part of the Hobbit, an unexpected journey, has been like for you.
First of all, let me say that a few years ago, I was doing a show in Atlanta, Georgia. And there were old-timers there who remembered the world premiere of Gone with the Wind. And when Clark Gable and Vivien Leigh came down the main street in an open car, that is very similar to today in Wellington, New Zealand. It's an event kids are going to remember, I think. It's magnificent. And I don't think anyone would have guessed 20 years ago that New Zealand would be very famous for food and for fashion and for film. And Peter Jackson is responsible for this great triumph, I think.
He is indeed. How did you react to the film when you saw it, Barry?
I've never seen it.
Ah, this is a first for you this evening in the embassy.
I'm still in this film.
You certainly are. You take a really key role, and you are a quite extraordinary creation. Tell me a little bit about the process of being made up for this role.
Well, you don't get much made up. This whole business of motion capture is a mysterious technical thing, and it's revolutionary, and this will be the most advanced movie ever made. You don't get made up. You have little spots put over you, and the computer does the rest. Don't tell me. It's a mystery. But I am very unrecognizable in this film, I hope.
You are unrecognizable, despite what Kate Blanchett said at the media conference this morning. How was it to be directed by Peter Jackson? What was that experience like?
It's marvelous because Peter Jackson manages to get the best out of everyone. And the mood of the whole company, and that's not just the artists, but the whole technical crew, everyone involved in the film, is very high because of his personality. He's an amazing little guy.
There was a lot of dress-up for others in the film. Do you think Dame Edna might have been a little envious?
I think Dame Edna would love to have been in this film, but unfortunately, she's too old.
Are you looking forward to the 2 next films in the trilogy?
Well, I'm not really, because I'm not in any of them.
Just as a viewer, I'm sure you will enjoy the experience, though. You are a frequent visitor to New Zealand, I think, Barry.
I've been coming to New Zealand since the late 1950s, before anyone watching this was born. And I've always been a big fan of Kiwis.
Why is that?
Look in the mirror.
You are one of the world's most charming men. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll release you to this adoring public, and I hope they lavish you with praise tonight. They will.
Who the hell I am, I think.
Thank you so much, Barry. To another.
Sir Barry Humphries, what a great man to follow. He's amazing.
I guess that was one of the most obvious things this morning, Mark, looking at the cast and crew, is just how extraordinary a group it is.
It's amazing. You're surrounded by these actors all the time, and they're incredible. They're so talented. They're inspirations, actually, all of them. Martin Freeman, Kate Blanchett. I mean, you just watch them work and they're amazing. Richard Armitage, and even in my New Zealand colleagues, you know, the Jed Brophies and Peter Hambletons, you know, wonderful actors in their own right. But to put us all together in one room is like chaos. We're very naughty when we're all together, and it's fantastic.
I can absolutely see you. Most of the time, you're sort of finishing off each other's sentences. You're very, very close, aren't you?
We are. We're all very close, and because I think we've worked together, and because all of the English actors that we know, all the actors that have come from overseas, we've known them like household names for ages anyway. So it's like, and they've just been so obliging and so welcoming of us. Jimmy Nesbitt, Ken Stott, all those wonderful people have just opened up and let us become part of that whole team. How could we lose? It's fantastic, Carol. It's the most extraordinary experience of my career so far. This is amazing.
Tell me a little bit about being part of the Tolkien legacy, if you like. I mean, you know, how has it changed your life, Mark?
Well, it has. I mean, I've actually met his great-grandson, you know, Royd, who is just, what a lovely man he is. And so I keep having a joke with him saying, ladies and gentlemen, it's, you know, J.R. Tolkien's great-grandson. And but that's so infectious, because there's something about his style, there's something about his storytelling that is just full of fantasy, but it's a real fantasy. And you actually have to go on the travel. You have to do the journey, and if you don't, it ends up being a very discombobulated thing. And so you must do the journey, and I'm doing the journey with these wonderful actors and wonderful crew and wonderful director called Sir Peter Jackson, who's just an inspiration to all of us to get in there, as well as Philippa and Fran, of course.
Now, I'm going to say, I think you might be Peter Jackson's biggest fan, really.
Oh, look, I've known Peter for a long time, and we're not friends or anything like that. We're just work colleagues, and he is an extraordinary, I mean, Meet the Feebles was an extraordinary invitation to Sir Peter, and then King Kong, and then you know, and from there you just go from strength to strength, and you know what Peter wants. You have to adapt to what Peter wants, because he knows what the story is. He's got the best idea of what the story is going to be, and so if you can let go of your ego and let go of what you think you should be doing and understand what Peter wants and convert that into your character, you're going to go with the story, and that's what we've all done. It's been wonderful, Carol, and people like Jed Brophy, who play your brother in the thing,
come in, Jed Brophy. It's a tag team. It's
no, seriously. Him with Adam Brown.
I've never met
playing
this
the brothers.
guy before. I don't know
He's amazing. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You enjoy.
Were you
Thank
in
you,
the film,
Carol.
were you?
No, I wasn't. Actually, only a little bit. I love you, brother. See you later.
Running away. It's beautiful to talk to you, Mark, and it's beautiful to have you, Jed Brophy. What are you feeling when you see this sea of people, the sea of fans?
This is amazing. Wellington really turns it on. This is the second time I've been on a red carpet event here in Wellington after Return of the King, and this is just as good, if not better.
Look, it is glamorous. It's a glorious event to be part of. But tell me, is it ever intimidating to be involved in such an enormous film?
Yeah, of course it is. It's as an actor, you have to back yourself, but you never imagine that you have the teeth to actually cut it in this world. And we don't get to do it very often as Kiwis. We're a bit self-effacing. I'm a small-town boy from Taihape, so this is a bit much for me. There's more people here than have ever lived in Taihape in the history of the place. So,
tell me, is Taihape celebrating tonight? They should be.
Yeah, they probably are. I mean, I haven't told them I'm in the film.
I bet they've figured it out. You know, what I saw when I was at the media conference this morning was this extraordinary brotherhood between all of the dwarves. Yeah. You know, I think, you know, it runs contrary to what we may think about actors being deliberately competitive with one another.
Yeah, it is a true ensemble, and really, the film doesn't work unless we actually play off each other. They are a group of people that have come together with a common cause, and it has to show that. And Peter and Fran and Philippa did a great thing in terms of giving us 8 weeks to train together, to get to know each other, to become friends, to embrace them into how we rock as New Zealanders for a start, and to become this brotherhood of dwarves, because they'll fail otherwise.
Talking about rocking as New Zealanders, how did those foreign folk get used to us? Did they get used to us quickly?
They really did. I mean, I think New Zealanders are so friendly. We have this openness about us that they love. And also, there aren't a lot of stalkers in New Zealand. People tend to go, wow, that's Ian McKellen, hi Ian, and then leave them alone. They don't get chased like they do overseas. And I think that is refreshing for them, and it's refreshing for us. And because we're so happy to have them here, because they're working on such a great project, I think they felt embraced.
Jed, are you ready for another huge wave of fandom?
I guess I have to be.
You do?
Yeah, I am looking forward to it, actually. I love the fans. This is what we do it for.
And you'll be on a publicity circuit with the film for a few more weeks.
We get to go to New York, and then we're lucky enough to go to London, where my brother gets to come on the red carpet with me. So see you soon, Andy. That'll be great.
Absolutely. Look, I won't hold you any longer. Please go and enjoy yourself and walk what could be the longest red carpet in the world.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Wellington. Thank you.
Can I help you?
I'm looking for someone to share in an adventure.
So, this is the Hobbit.
The dwarves are determined to reclaim their homeland.
My name is Bilbo Baggins.
Can we cook him?
I wouldn't risk it, I really wouldn't. Can you promise that I will come back?
If you do, you will not be the same.
The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, only in cinemas.
We're live at the world premiere of The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, and with me is one of the extremely handsome elves, Mr. Hugo Weaving.
Thank you. Most elves don't sport beards, but every now and then they get a bit bored, they have to grow them.
Were you trying to channel the kind of inner dwarf?
Yeah, I think Tolkien actually describes him as a sort of venerable as a dwarf king, so I feel I have to embody the spirit of the whole of Middle-earth, not just the elvish kingdoms.
Look, this was a very minor theme that I thought was running in the film, but it seemed to me that the elves were a bit English, and dare I say it, our dwarves were a bit Scottish-Irish.
Yeah, there's a Celtic thread that goes through certain of the peoples of Middle-earth, and actually once upon a time the elves had weird Celtic accents as well, but we abandoned that well before Lord of the Rings, and they became much more prim and proper.
Hugo, what was it like reconnecting with this whole filmmaking process?
Look, it's so wonderful coming here. I genuinely love this country, and I think what Pete has done is he's put this country, he celebrates the culture of this country so much, and Lord of the Rings has so much prosecutes this countryside and this culture, and it's always lovely to come back here, very welcoming, and it feels like every time I come back it's like no time's passed at all, and even though 10, 12 years have gone by, it feels like it's, nothing's changed in some ways, and yet what he's doing with the films has grown and grown and grown each time, so it's always a real pleasure and a thrill to come back.
Were you a Tolkien fan before you got involved with the films?
Yeah, I read The Hobbit as a little kid, and then read The Hobbit to my children. They both loved it. Lord of the Rings I dipped into and then put down, and then when we came to shoot Lord of the Rings, that's when I thought, perhaps I better read it. So I wasn't a massive Tolkien fan, but I always loved The Hobbit.
And your children, how old are they? And do you think they'll be rushing along to this film?
No, they're very excited about it. They were here many years ago on a red carpet similar to this, Once Upon a Time. And my daughter's now just about to turn 20. She's in New York, and my son's 24. And he's in Sydney. So, no, they're looking forward to seeing it.
And truly, did it feel like you were back with a group of very close old friends when you started making this?
Yeah, absolutely. It really felt like, not just the cast, actually. In fact, a lot of the cast I was very excited to meet because I hadn't met them before. But the crew, everyone on set, just driving into the studios, the people you first see are faces you know very well. So it felt like no time had passed, really. And the ethos on set is very much one of, well, let's just work, and there's no nonsense. You have a lot of fun, and it is very much like a family atmosphere. So yeah, it was great.
And before you know it, you'll be involved in 2 more.
Yes, I'm not sure whether Elrond gets to be in the 3rd film, but we'll see. They might drag him back. Who knows?
Well, for us fans, we'll be crossing our fingers and crossing our toes. Hugo Weaving, have a wonderful night.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Stephen Hunter, tell me, how much fun is this?
This is pretty awesome.
Lack of words.
Yeah, I know. It's fantastic. What a perfect... Wellington's the best day. It's the best place in the world on a good day, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. You cannot beat it. It's like this though, isn't it?
Oh, totally.
What are your expectations coming into the today, and what are they like now?
I knew there'd be lots of people. I knew it'd be hot. And I knew it'd be exciting. It's just fantastic.
You're one of the many dwarfs, 13 of them.
Yep.
How warm are
Pretty warm. Yeah.
And in the fat suit?
Yeah, totally. And it's obviously with all the gingerness as well, that makes it even hotter.
Tell me as well, what was Dwarf Boot Camp like?
Grueling. But I think we're better dwarves for it.
Now tell me as well, what are you expecting the film to be like? Have you seen a final cut, or will this be the first time you see it?
No, I have seen the final cut. I've been lucky enough to see it, and it's extraordinary.
What do you make of the people who've waited here, some of them all night?
This morning I came down to grab a coffee, and there were people who'd been there since 9 o'clock last night.
All right, you've got another... Oh, so good luck.
I know. Just remember...
I have the delightful Adam Brown with me. Welcome tonight.
Thank you.
And tell me, how does it seem to you being here in Wellington with thousands of people to greet you?
Well, 18 months in Wellington, I've never ever seen it like this. This is, yeah, I don't think I've seen weather like this either. This is quite strange. I think they know that it's coming.
This is special premiere weather that only happens every 10 years.
Yeah, Wellington has that kind of secret vibe, I think. They know that the weather's coming and something special's happening, so it's brilliant.
Tell me a little bit about all the time that you actually did spend here and effectively became a New Zealander.
I did. 18 months. I can't, because that would be telling. Yeah. And there were some stories of sure. But no, I was embraced by this city, which I love so much. I've made the best friends and friends for life here, and I think I'm going to make a pledge to myself that every year I come back and see people. I love it so much.
It's such an extraordinary length of time to be in a close-knit group with other actors. Was it almost painful breaking up at the end?
Yeah, it was like a relationship, you know. You had to say goodbye and going home. But I mean, with the guys, it's constantly email messaging all the time. Just the jokes continue via the internet rather than when we're waiting in our trailers ready to film, you know. So that bondship, that friendship hasn't gone away, which has been fantastic.
Tell me a little bit about what you think the film has to offer audiences. What is the greatest thing that excites you most?
Oh, so much. This film, I saw it, and I mean, it's very hard for me to see it, first of all, because I'm so attached to it, but I was completely blown away. This job has been a first for me, this kind of experience, working with the most talented actors. It's been fantastic. I've loved every minute. Working with the most talented people in the world. Everything about this film is top. There's no... I
also found it very emotional. Tell me, what sort of experience was it for you to watch it?
Weird, actually, because we did a lot of it to green screen. So so then you go, oh, of course, that's what it looks like. And I must admit, I was in my seat jumping around. And go, oh, my gosh.
But in a really good way.
Yeah, I mean, I've read the script. I know what happens, but I was still surprised. It was really strange.
I think the other wonderful thing of it is that all those really sort of tough physical scenes are counterpointed with very intimate, intense scenes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's real humanity, I think, with this movie.
And huge humour, and you do a wonderful comedic turn.
Well, yeah, Ori is my baby. I love him so much. You know, all the other dwarves are big, butch guys, axe-wielding, with big beards. And basically, yeah, I've got a knitted cardigan on, so...
Lovely. Adam, thank you so much for talking with. Have a great night.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you could cast your eyes skyward, the plane, the Boeing 777 from Air New Zealand is making its way towards the red carpet. Countdown. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody look to the sky. I'm not the pilot, so I can tell you what's coming very shortly. I can see it on the big screens though.